You couldn't hear me. Now you can hear me. What's up, chat? Happy Wednesday, everyone. One of my buttons stopped working. That's fun. Oh, all of my buttons stopped working. Let me unplug that and try plugging it back in. My stream deck. Be-da-boo. Boop-a-doo-boo. Hey, it's working now. Welcome to this Wednesday stream. Happy Wednesday. April 9th. Hello, lovely people in my computer. My name is Tom Durante, the Maestro, here at Durante's House of Music. Your home for all things musical. I'm your guide to all things musical. From piano repair, music theory, music production, live performance, and everything in between. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and thank you if you already have. We are sitting nice and pretty. Oh my god, at 130 subscribers. That's wild. We were just at 100 a couple days ago. This thing is really taking off, and I'm having a boatload of fun. I turned it up a little louder. I noticed that as I was watching on my phone, I just couldn't get it loud enough. So I'm going to be a little bit more lively today. I'm going to be a little bit more loud today. So if I get too loud, let me know. That was a little bit. That was pushing it. Oh my god. I was sitting here getting prepared. I like to start the stream a little early. Get you my starting soon screen so I can get myself in prepared, and I just plumb forgot. I was chatting in the chat. Everybody's talking about how they were here day one. I was here day one. Were you? Anyway, I forgot to ask Grok for our daily... Turn that down a little bit, Theremin. Theremin's blasting off into space. Oh, I always turned it way too far down. There you go. We got some new people in the chat. We were up to 6 people. Now we're just down to 4. Ooh, one of them's not me. It's gotta be me too. One of them's not me. It's gotta be me too. It's me. I love watching me. No. None of that, Yessie. None of that. This ain't that kind of stream, you guys. Anyway. Alright. Grok, can I please have today's music history events coming at you live? Processing. Isn't AI wonderful? I remember when we were all afraid of AI, and now we are embracing it. If you're not embracing AI, you need to get on it, because it's not as scary as it could be. Somebody's texting me. I have always enjoyed watching me, my dad says. I was going to say that. My dad has videoed, I've definitely mentioned this before in a stream, but my dad has always been a photography and camera enthusiast, and so he always had some really cool cameras, including some video cameras back in the day, and I was born in 1989. So camera technology has evolved as I have grown. And he used to tape me on VHS. And I would ask him, hey Dad, I was a small child. It's like, Daddy, can I watch me at 3? And like, okay, you're 6, that's definitely possible. Okay, how about 4? Great, we could do that too. Can I watch me at 6? Well, yesterday, you could watch you yesterday. Can I watch me at 17? No, son, we haven't gotten there yet. Sorry, that's not possible. Anyway, it was fun. Since today is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, and it's currently 4:04 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's great. For cousin Alex over there, Uncle Alex. It is currently 7:05 Eastern Daylight Time here on the East Coast. Here are 5 notable historical musical events. that have occurred on April 9th across various years. As it's still, I love this part, as it's still early in the day, no major musical events for April 9th, 2025 has been widely reported yet, so I'll focus on past April 9ths. Gee thanks, Grok, with a mix of classics and significant moments. 1860. The earliest known recording of a human voice was made on April 9th by Parisian inventor Edouard Léon Scott de Martinville. An anonymous vocalist sang A Clair de Lune into his phonautograph, a device that etched sound waves onto soot-covered paper. Soot is like charcoal dust. Rediscovered in 2008, this faint 10-second clip predates Edison's phonograph by 17 years, marking a foundational moment in music and sound history. We're going to have to pull that up. 1939. Marian Anderson performed a historic open-air concert at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. on April 9th after being denied a venue at Constitution Hall by the Daughters of the American Revolution due to her race, singing to 75,000 people, including My Country 'Tis of Thee. The black contralto's performance became a powerful symbol of civil rights, amplified by Eleanor Roosevelt's support. 1997. Soundgarden announced their breakup on April 9th after 12 years together. The Seattle grunge pioneers, known for hits like Black Hole Sun, cited creative differences after their album Down on the Upside. Their dissolution marked a shift in the grunge era, though they'd reunite in 2010, leaving a lasting legacy in rock. 2008. Elton John headlined a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign on April 9th at Radio City Music Hall in New York City, raising $2.5 million, playing classics like Tiny Dancer. The event highlighted his philanthropy, later echoed when Clinton was honored by his AIDS Foundation in 2013 for her gay rights advocacy. Rapper DMX, Earl Simmons, died on April 9th, 2021 at age 50 in White Plains, New York, a week after a heart attack triggered by a drug overdose. Known for his gritty, soulful hits like Rough Riders anthem, DMX had 5 consecutive #1 albums, a feat unmatched in hip-hop at the time, leaving an indelible mark on the genre. That's interesting. The first audio recording this day in music history. Let's look that up real quick. That's pretty interesting. I love technology, and I do a lot of recording. In fact, I am speaking into a microphone, which is a piece of recording technology. And so, that is very appropriate. Edouard Léon Scott de Martinville. Edouard Scott. Let's give you my screen here. Edouard Scott. Oh, Edouard Léon. Let's see what we get. Oh, Edouard Léon Scott de Martinville. Born in 1817. Died on April 17, 1879. Excuse me. Let's see if we can hear this. Original sound recordings. Are you seeing this? Yes, you are. Origins of sound recordings. The inventors. Ooh, look at that thing. Designs from Scott's patent of 1857. So somebody's blowing into some kind of a trumpet into a funnel that has a needle attached to the end of it. Oh, this is the mechanism here. Okay. It's a diaphragm made with some kind of fiber, maybe a paper, maybe, I'm sure this article here would tell us if I wanted to read it, but I just want to hear it. The inscription of the stylus in soot, a recorded sound. You can see it kind of looks like a sound wave. Okay, the fidelity is not very high. You can see all the individual markings of the vibrations of the needle stylus on the soot. This is interesting. Can we hear it? What is this? Oh, this is the improved one. Oh, look at the fidelity improvement there. Frequency of the sound recorded in the top trace could be determined by counting the vibrations inscribed by a 250 hertz tuning fork. Oh wow, a replica. Can we hear it? For sounds. Reproduces, let's see. You are exiting the national parks. Can we hear it? Please. You might have to just go to YouTube. Let's go to YouTube. Sigma Alpha Fact. Let's see. Edward Leon. Oh, there we go. 1860. Let me mute my 2024 recording of the great theremin experiment in space so that we can hear the very first audio recording. Brace yourself. Beautiful. That's what you just heard in extremely low fidelity. Ooh, let me turn that up. And if you're watching me, I literally just kind of randomly hit a note, not really expecting it to be the correct note, but it was freaky. Anyway, we need to pick a key of the day. Let's pick a key of the day, folks, so I can start a little bit of a jam. That's my jam. Key of the day. Random number generator. It was 10. Alright, let's get rid of this for a minute. We'll be back at that later. We've got some lessons to do today. Random number. Why doesn't it? Oh, it does. We already did 4. We're going to skip it. 12. So if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Key of B major. Can't remember if we did that. I don't think we did. Here we are. What's our voice today? Are you getting sick? Is there literally everybody left? That's crazy. I talk about history for 2 seconds and all the kids leave. Pretty sad. It's just me in here. If you're still in the chat, pop in. Your attention span needs to be a little bit longer than that. It's kind of sad. Kinda disappointing. You see, I'm going to start off here with my suitcase EP. Ooh, that was fun. You know I'm really pushing hard because you can see my camera rocking. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. I just love that sound. I don't want to pick anything else, but I don't want you to get bored of that. Ooh, phase. Ooh, there you go. I think I want my face in here too. Since nobody's watching, I'm just going to take some time and add my face into this. Let's add an existing camera, and we'll put it in a little corner just because I want you to see me. I like to be seen. There I am. Hey, how you doing? Maybe I'll put myself up here. What do you think of that? There's nothing going on up there. Enjoy. I can put myself in the little screen here. That'd be funny. That is indeed funny. But it's just so small. We'll leave it there for a minute. I'm in my piano. I like that. That's funny. Oh, that's not the one I wanted to move. That's the one I wanted to move. That's not the one I wanted to move. That's the one I want to move. Make it a little bit bigger. It's just silly. I'm in my piano. What am I doing in my piano? Where'd everybody go? This was popping off. There were 6 people at the beginning, which is more than I've had in a while. This feels good. Hey, welcome back. Hop in the chat. I was just complaining how I was by myself. Don't leave me. I found a vibe. And I'm in my piano. Who are you, Tankagrad? Where do you go to school? Are you at Alex's school? Very cool. That's where I went to school too. There's a ghost in the machine. It's me. Well, that's really cool. Music has that power. I'm sorry that I don't play more music. I'm trying to get through these theory lessons. But I do like to play around a little bit here. I'm playing in my little key of B. My little key of B. Maybe one day when I have time, I'll snip out all these little musical excerpts and make a whole video just of the music. And then I'll snip out all of the theory excerpts and make a video just of the theory. A supercut, you might say. You should come meet me in person. I'm at least half as exciting. Oh ho ho ho! Look who it is. Why is that? You know what time it is? That was kind of cool. It sounded like I was doing a 7th chord, but I was really just playing an octave. You see what that is right there, Alex? See what that is? That's something that I told you so. That's something that I told you so, and you can see right there. I added some more. Look at what the daily key is. It has the crease, and I added a couple more, so you know. That's what happens when it travels around in my backy pack. What other YouTube channel can you directly influence people, lovely people, in my computer? What other YouTube channel can you do that? Where something in the real world that you had in class can show up live on a stream? I ask you. Well, it's been 30 minutes. Let's get into some music theory. Excuse me. I had a nice, yummy dinner before I started. That way I'm not hungry before we get into this. Back into the interstellar space. Back into the browser view. Back into the musictheory.net. And I've got a special shirt on. Let me see if I can show you. Let's go back into that view. And then I'll come back into this view so I can see what I'm showing you. And I'm going to stand up for a moment. These are difficult times. Because we're talking about time signatures today. But they're not actually difficult times, as we will soon find out. Thank you. Laugh track. I'm working on that. I know I have laughter on here. I wish I didn't have to search so far. Maybe, I'll write it down. Oh, I've gone all the way through the sounds. It's got to be somewhere in there. Reverse symbol. Give me a moment. I've got I downloaded some really sketchy sound effect app today. So my phone's probably infected now. But I also downloaded one that came with no sounds whatsoever. So I spent a little time downloading some sounds that I'm going to upload into this. Well, I guess I have the sketchy one. I could just pull that up and see if they can infect my stream. Oh no, I deleted it, didn't I? Yep, I deleted it. I was like, this is pretty sketchy. I don't want to be downloading stuff on this. Where? Oh, where? Soundtrack? No. Where is it? I'm gonna write this down as soon as I find it. You're just distracting me because you don't want to talk about music theory. I could have swore it was somewhere right here. Should be towards the end. Orchestra hit, synth voice, mellow choir, legato strings, timpani. That's not a laugh track. Is this exciting? A DX what? Excuse me? DX bass? Okay, cool. I got lots of sounds in here. Blah, 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 bloop, bloop, bleep, bleep. Bro. We were at 500 and now we're at 200. Bro, I swear it was somewhere here. Let me go back towards the end. Anyway, this is not what I wanted to spend my time doing. Blah, blah, bloop, bleep, bleep. Oh, it was right there all along. I knew it was at the end. What is this? $4.95. Remember that, folks. $4.95. Just kidding. You don't have to remember that. I will write it in pencil on my keyboard. I could probably play. They're pitched so that I can play them. $4.95. I'm just gonna write haha. Oh, you like that, do you? That's pretty good. I like that. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Let's get into some theory. One of those applies. I'll leave the laughs up just in case. Or should I leave the screams up? Alright, folks. Here we go. But first, it's your reminder that your body is 80% water and you should stay hydrated. Today's video brought to you by filtered fridge water. And ice, made by my ice maker. Love it. Anyway, simple and compound meter. Each time signature can be classified into a certain meter. The terms duple, triple, and quadruple refer to the number of beats in a measure. The term simple means that each of these beats can be broken into 2 notes. For example, the time 2/4 is classified as simple duple. Duple refers to 2 beats per measure. Simple states that each of these beats can be divided into 2 notes. 2/2 and 2/8 are also simple duple. You see, 2/2 tells you there are 2 half notes. More specifically, it tells you there are 2 beats in a measure, and the half note receives 1 beat. So this would be a beat, and this would be a division, a subdivision of a beat. This tells you there are 2 beats in a measure, and the 8th note receives 1 beat. So this would be your beat, and this would be your subdivision. 3/4 time is classified as simple triple. Triple refers to 3 beats per measure. Again, simple states that each of these beats can be divided into 2 notes. 1, 2, 3. 1N, 2N, 3N. 3/2 and 3/8 are also simple triple. 4/4 time is classified as simple quadruple due to its 4 beats, which can be divided into 2 notes. 4/2 and 4/8 are also simple quadruple. Notice that a time signature in simple meter will always have a 2, 3, or 4 for the top number. That tells you how many beats are in one measure. While beats in simple meter are divided into 2 notes, beats in compound meter are divided into 3. To demonstrate this, we will examine a 6/8 time. 6/8 notes can either be grouped into 2 beats, compound duple, or 3 beats, simple triple. Okay, 2 groupings of 3, or 3 groupings of 2. Look at those happy little guys. This is a happy little alien with 3 eyes, and this is a happy little alien with 2 eyes, and 8th notes for eyes. Anyway. Since... okay, maybe you guys were right, I do need a laugh track. Since the simple triple pattern already belongs to 3/4 time, 6/8 is compound duple. Notice, oh wait a minute, this is not the music that I wanted. It's nice. It goes with the rhythm. But that's not what I wanted. It's a little too distracting. I'm vibing back here. I'm like, wait a minute. That is not the music that I want for my background. You can jam out to that on your own. Notice that each beat in 6/8 is a dotted quarter note. That's 1 beat. In fact, all compound meters will have some dotted note as its beat. Any time signature with a 6 on top is a compound duple. 6/8 and 6/4 are the most commonly used. 6/4. It's on my shirt. It must be real. 9/8 time is classified as compound triple. Look at all those 8th notes in a row. There are 3 beats, 3 dotted quarters, thus making the meter triple. Since each beat is made up of 3 notes, the meter is compound. 3 subdivisions of a beat. Any time signature with a 9 on top is compound triple, although 9/8 is the most common. 9/2 and 9/4, 9/2, 9/4, and 9/16 can also be used. I think that's 9/8 right there. 9/8. It's on my shirt. It must be real. Anyway, that's going to get annoying fast. Finally, 12/8 time is classified as compound quadruple. There are 4 beats, thus making the meter quadruple. Since each beat is made up of 3 notes, the meter is compound. Compound quadruple. Any time signature with a 12 on top is compound quadruple. 12/8 and 12/16 are the most commonly used. I have 11/16 on my shirt. That doesn't help. That can't be real, but it's on my shirt. Odd meter. What a perfect segue. That is an odd meter. Odd meter is a meter which contains both simple and compound beats. The first odd meter we will discuss is 5/8 time. It contains 1 simple beat with 2 divisions and 1 compound with 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The order of the beats does not matter. If the compound beat comes first, it is still 5/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, we will discuss odd meters with 3 total beats. 7/8 time contains 2 simple beats and 1 compound beat. Again, the order of the beats does not matter. In fact, I wrote a piece that was in, I think it was 5, maybe more than that, maybe it was 7, where I was moving. This is a triplet kind of rhythm. I was moving the triplet rhythm around. Maybe it was 12/8. The compound beat can even be, oh, look at that. The compound beat can even be positioned between 2 simple beats. 8/8 time contains 2 compound beats and 1 simple beat. I don't know, but maybe, I guess. Some people confuse 8/8 with 4/4, since both have 8th notes, 8/8 notes. Notice that 4/4 groups the measures into 4 beats of 2 8th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. While 8/8 groups it into 3 odd beats. I was not sure of that. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You definitely won't see that very often. Our last two odd meters have a total of 4 beats. 10/8 time signature has 2 compound beats and 2 simple beats. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11/8 time has 3 compound beats and 1 simple beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The one on my shirt is 11/16. So that's close. What that would mean is instead of eighth notes, these would be 16th notes. And instead of dotted quarters, these would be dotted eighths, because 3/16 would come to make 1 dotted eighth. All right, well, that's all they give us, but I think we can talk a little bit more about that before we get into generic. No, we talked about that. Before we get into writing intervals, let's talk a minute about time. Look, there I am. Anyway, I left up the chord thing just in case we needed that, but I'm not sure that we do. I'm going to erase it. Just to recap from yesterday's video, we talked about intervals and chords, right? Major and minor intervals are seconds, thirds, sixths, and sevenths. Perfect intervals are first, fourth, fifths, and eighths. So these ones have a major or a minor version. Oh, that is not a piano. What was that piano I was just playing? 17. So minor second, major second, minor third, major third. Okay, we'll go to a 6, minor 6, major 6, minor 7th, major 7th. And a perfect unison is 2 voices on the same note. These are my 2 voices on the same note. Perfect 4th, perfect 5th, and a perfect octave. An octave is really just a unison separated by an octave. So we can erase that now that we've reviewed it. Remember, the order of complexity here is notes, scales, intervals, chords, and 7th chords. All right, let's see. So, our triads. We have a major triad with a major third on the bottom and a minor third on the top. A minor triad with a minor third on the bottom and a major third on the top. An augmented chord triad with 2 major thirds and a diminished triad, remember that's a diminished symbol, comprised of 2 minor thirds. So we're going to go ahead and we will erase that so we can talk about time. And you know, actually, now that I've erased that, I remember I have these with sheet music lines, staff lines, so that I can write music on them, which makes more sense to write on than just a blank one. We're talking about time. There are people back in the chat. Welcome back, people. As much as I love watching myself and talking to myself, it's more fun with you. Stay. All right, so talking about time. When we count things, and you know what? Maybe I will write on this one for a minute. A minute. Because I can just do that and write a line. 4 time. Okay, they did not explain this, but I did. 4 is how the top number, if I remember my math, that is the numerator, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. How many beats? How many beats per measure? I don't know if we talked about this, but a measure is in between 2 bar lines. So this is a measure. And this number is what note equals 1 beat? What note equals 1 beat? And so notes that you can see on the top, they said you would see, like a 2, a 4, a 3, 2, 3, 4. There were odd meters and things like that, but right now we're talking about simple time. Simple time. It's kind of hard to read, but anyway. Simple time. What note equals 1 beat? Is 4. It could be 2. It could be 8. It could be 16. So 2 equals a half note. 4 equals a quarter note. 8 equals an eighth note. And 16 equals a 16th note. Okay? So, just because, let's say, for example, you have 4/16 time. Just because you have 16th note equaling 1 beat does not mean it's a fast time. Okay? The speed of a time is determined by the tempo. So you can have 4/16 in 60, quarter note equals 60, which is 1 second. And that's a 16th note. I guess you can't hear that. Alright, that's your 16th note. Usually 16th notes in 4/4 time would be a subdivision of the beat. So I'm going to teach you a little bit of how to read some of these. These rhythms. Okay? So this rhythm, for example, here, if we were to read that, let me get rid of some of this. Okay. So, you know how to count to 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you not hear my laugh track? Because I made a laugh track. And it was pretty entertaining. That's not it. That's also not the last thing that I just did. There we go. I want my tremolo. Alright, so you can count to 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, your quarter notes are going to get that number, 1. Okay? I did. It'll be back, don't worry. Right now I'm in the deep depths of a rhythmic lesson. Did you see my shirt? Because I showed off my shirt. You're going to have to just rewind. That's what you're going to have to do. And then you can play it in 1.5 speed or even 2 speed, and then you'll catch up. That's what I like to do. So, the next beat, you'll start counting with the number 2. Alright? And when you count a subdivision, okay, let's come over here and learn about our subdivisions. I'm going to count 16th note subdivisions. Okay, those are the stems and the beams without the note heads. Okay, so you're going to count the number first. Your 8th note subdivisions are going to be an and. Okay, as a plus sign. When you see the plus sign, you say the word and. We're going to do an E and an A. And this is for simple time. Okay, so if you see an 8th note, you go to and. Now, if you see a half note, oh, my face is in the way, as per usual. If you see a whole half note, that's worth 2 beats. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the next numerical value that comes in sequence. And then I'm going to put the next subsequent one in a parentheses. Because there's 2 of them, right? So I would count this. If I had a beat, I do have a beat. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And the reason I'm just saying 3 is because 4 is part of that. So I'm not going to say it because it's part of that. And we're holding that. So I'm saying 1, 2, and 3. It continues. Okay? So then this is on beat 1. Oh, fun. That's fun. Okay, this is on beat 1, so I'm going to put number 1. And then I'm going to put the rest of these here. E and E and Okay, number 2 is next. And an and. 3, 4. Okay? 1, 2, and 3. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. Okay? That's how you count rhythms. Now, if this were 3, 4, you would stop at 3. Right? If it were 2, 4, you would stop at 2. Okay? That sort of thing. That's good to hear. So that's how you count rhythms in a simple time. If you were counting rhythms, let's change this. I need to erase most of this. Okay, screen grab it. Screen grab it. Make sure you get my face. It's my face. It's my face. Anyway. Erasing. We're going to talk about compound time next. How to count those, because those are going to be different. So I'm going to write that. Simple. Hello, marker. Okay. Now they talked about simple time by describing it as the notes breaking down into 2. But you can break them down obviously further than that. Okay. I'll put this over here for a minute because I thought I was going to use it, but I'm not. Compound. Things are naturally broken down into 3. Okay, so we're going to have a number. And then we're going to have la and lay. Okay, that's if it's just in 3. If we have 6, like a subdivision of each of those are going to be 16th notes to these 8th notes. We're going to put our number. Let's try and separate this here. Number, la, lay, and we're going to put ta in between. 1, ta, la, ta, lay, ta. Okay? Can you see that? How about that? My first number sign is a little bit sloppy because I was using the big part of the bevel. So, 1 la lay, 2 la lay, 1 ta la ta lay ta, 2 ta la ta lay ta. Got it? Let's look at an example. 6, 8 on the board. 2 measures. What? Keep it simple. What? We're going to get a little complicated here, right? We'll talk about dots. I'm not sure when, but I know we will. Okay. Just to make you happy, I'll put some abbreviated note heads. So, we would count this 1, la, lay, 2, and that goes all the way through, just to show you, 2. Now, let's do this one first. It's on the second beat, so 2, ta, la, ta, lay, ta. So let's use this to figure out this. This dotted 8th note is worth 3/16. Okay, so it's going to be these 3. Okay, 1 ta la, or that's going to be 1 ta la, and we'll put a ta on this, and this takes up the last 2. This is an 8th note, so that takes up the last 2. Lay. 1 ta lay. 1 ta lay. Okay. I'm not going to use metronome because it's set to 4 and I don't want to change it right now. So I'll snap. 1 la lay 2, 1 la lay 2, 1 la lay 2, 1 to lay 2 to la to later, 1 la lay 2, 1 to lay 2 to la to later. To la to later. More of that to la to later. Did you get that? What? 495. Did you get that? 4 to la to later. More of that a little later. You can rewind this. It's a video. All right. Let's see what else we got. Because we are talking about... Oh, you got to come back over here with me. We're talking about intervals. Another reminder to hydrate. All right. Let's talk about writing intervals. When writing intervals on the staff, it is common to confuse intervals with the same number of half steps. For example, one being you, may accidentally write C to F sharp, an augmented fourth, instead of C to G flat, a diminished fifth, although both intervals sound the same and look identical on the keyboard. Oh my god, that is not a piano. That's funny. That's a tritone. Fortunately, an easy 3-step process exists to reduce the risk of this mistake. Easy 3-step process? I like where this is going. Let's write a minor third from C. First, write the generic interval on the staff. For this example, we will write a generic third. Generic just means the size, right? Specific would mean when we count the half steps. Next, figure out the number of half steps on the keyboard. Since a major third is 4 half steps, our minor third will be 3 half steps. Finally, compare the staff and the keyboard results. Add any needed accidentals to the staff. C to E flat is a minor third. For our next example, let's try a major sixth from F sharp. First, write the generic sixth on the staff, and you do that just by counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now remember, when you're counting the half steps, you don't count that first note. But when you're counting on the staff, you do count that first note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next, figure out the half steps on the keyboard. A major sixth is 9 half steps. Not counting that, because that's not a step, that's your note. Finally, add any needed accidentals. F sharp to D sharp is a major sixth. For our final example, okay, they're not, I guess they didn't really define. Step 1, write the generic fifth on the staff. Step 2, figure out how many half steps you need. Finally, step 3, add any needed accidentals to match what the keyboard shows you. B to F is a diminished fifth. Oh, there it is. Use this chart to reference the interval writing process. Okay? Now, I teach my theory students a little bit differently. Where's my order of things? All right, so we talk about notes, we talk about scales, and then we talk about intervals. There's a reason for that, because these intervals are diatonic, or part of a scale. And the chords are made up of intervals that are part of the scales, right? So you need to know your notes, and then you need to learn your scales, and then you can learn intervals and chords, and seventh chords. But diatonic means part of the scale or the key. So if you're writing a third, a minor third, you need to know that C minor has an E flat. And so then you'll just know that goes with an E flat. Okay, we'll do a lot more of that. Right now, my goal is to just kind of cover all this material. You know, I plan to do some supercuts or whatever and grab all of these lessons, like I said earlier, and put all these together and take all my music that I did, the jamming, and put all that together in the different keys. Maybe later on I'll talk about the reason why I'm doing a key a day, and I'm trying to stick to that. Of course, you know, the theory lessons are going to be a little different, and so they're not going to really talk about that because everything's based off of C, because that's what we're doing. Let's do one more here. Should we talk? Nah. What did I title this? We talked about rhythm and interval, so we're not going to get into chords. We'll do that tomorrow. I'm trying to pace myself, and just keep in mind, you know, I may not always be able to do a daily video. So I'm trying to get as much out as I can while I have time. Over the summer, absolutely, depending on what's going on, I'll be here. I'll do a 12-hour stream if I can and just show you the keyboard. And I'll come over and play a couple notes and I'll go back away. Something like that. No, I don't know. Oh my God, did I lose a subscriber? Am I going to cry? Pretty sure that said 130 before. 129? Oh, somebody please hit the like and subscribe button before I start crying. They're like, this is boring. I'm leaving. Womp, womp, womp. Womp, womp, womp. Let's play in the minor equivalent. Womp, womp. He's boring. He's talking about music theory. I don't want to subscribe. That's okay. I'll stop throwing a fit now. Okay. Interval inversion. Learn how to invert intervals. In music, the verb invert means to move the lowest note in a group to an octave higher. In this lesson, remember an octave is 8 notes, or the next named note of the same name, up or down. In this lesson, we will be inverting intervals. For our first example, let's invert a perfect fifth, C to G. To invert this interval, move the lowest note, the C, an octave higher. The result is a perfect fourth. Next, let's invert a perfect fourth, F sharp to B. Move the lowest note an octave higher, the F sharp. The result is a perfect fifth, B to F sharp. Perfect intervals will always invert to other perfect intervals. Fourths and fifths will invert to each other. Let's invert a major third, C to E. Move the lowest note an octave higher. The result is a minor sixth, E to C. Major third to minor sixth. Notice a pattern here. Let's invert a minor third, E to G. Move the lowest note an octave higher. The result is a major sixth, G to E. Minor intervals and major intervals invert to each other. Thirds and sixths invert to each other. Let's invert a major seventh, C to B. Move the lowest note an octave higher. The result is a minor second, B to C. Seconds and sevenths invert to each other. Finally, diminished and augmented intervals invert to each other. To demonstrate this, let's invert an augmented fourth, C to F sharp. Move the lowest note an octave higher. The result is a diminished fifth, F sharp to C. Use this chart to quickly invert intervals. Screen grab it. Minor to major, perfect to perfect, diminished to augmented. And of course the arrow goes both ways. So major goes to minor, perfect goes to perfect, and augmented goes to diminished. Fourths go to fifths, fifths go to fourth, third go to sixth, sixths go to third, seconds go to seventh, and sevenths to seconds. Is there one more? There is not. Let's go to our music production lessons, but first, a musical interlude. Well, that works just the same, I guess. I hope you're enjoying this. I know it can be boring. Learning hurts. But I also hope you find me funny. Because I'm having fun. I dropped a video early this morning. It's been sitting on my YouTube, on my studio side, just kind of sitting there waiting for me to decide what to do. I uploaded it privately so that I could share it with people and get some insight. I played it for my music theory class to get a little bit insight, and I finally decided I was just going to go for it. I spent some time making the video. I spent a lot of time making the video. The production value is pretty good. You know, I put some graphics on the keyboard and things like that. So check it out. It talks about, there's some cool AI pictures. I'm trying to pair some of my produced videos with like a little intro with the AI generated stuff, just to kind of get some engagement and see if that, triggers some algorithms or whatever. And so I'm having some fun with that. I love using Grok. It's a lot of fun. So I did some AI generated sheet music, which turns out maybe I'll have to try ChatGPT just to see if it can do it, because Grok was having some trouble just making some music, as it does with words as well sometimes. So I was having some fun with that, and I spent some time making this video, so I thought I would put it out, just to get some feedback. Right now, I am still very much in the experimental stage. I've only been doing this maybe a month and a half, maybe a little bit longer than that, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm really having a lot of fun, and hopefully you've seen my production quality skyrocket, just like my views and my subscribers. I really can't cry that one person. I just like to see round numbers. So I saw 130 on the screen, and now I see 129, and I'm like, maybe if I tickle it, it'll go back. I don't think it will. Maybe if I stare at it, it'll go back. But anyway, I like seeing round numbers, and so I really can't complain that I've kind of skyrocketed a lot, and I've seen, the produced videos that I was doing, and not really doing any advertising with them. Now I've been doing a little bit of YouTube promotion, and so that obviously has skyrocketed my stuff. If you pay for it, then you get it. So that's been good. So that's pretty much probably the main reason why I've kind of taken off as quick as I have. So of course it's going to pull back a little bit, naturally. No reason that it wouldn't. So it's been fun. I hope you've been enjoying this. Let's do a little bit of music production, and then we'll get out of here for the night. Let's see what we got. Put my music, unmute my music. And please check me out on Spotify or YouTube Music, wherever you listen to music. Is this where we left off? No, we were going to do bass lines. Song structure, yeah, there's not a whole lot in here. There's no rhythm stuff in here. So we'll talk about bass lines. And see, we're going to just listen to a lot of bass lines, and we'll play with them. So making a bass line. Bass lines are patterns of low-pitched notes. They often serve to reinforce a song's chords, while also using interesting rhythmic patterns that relate to or contrast with the drums. Drummers and bassists are like this. They stand next to each other typically, they play well together, and their parts complement each other. Let's see what we got here. Let's mute this again. Let's see what we got here. And since I've learned a little bit, since this is for educational purposes, and this is like a commentary, it's kind of okay to listen to these. This is why these are okay to be on this website, and it's okay for me to play them, because I haven't received any strikes from any of these, little snippets that I'm playing. I'm keeping them kind of short.
It's a good life. Hey, 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 yeah. I don't wanna stand around and beg you. Just don't say no. No, 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 no. I have got a feeling that you're gonna like it. What I'm doing to you. And I'm doing what I'm doing. I'll be doing what.
Yo, that's a banger. What is this bass sound? The short, snappy bass notes in this track are played on a Yamaha DX100 synthesizer. Most synthesizers include the DX100, provided a number of different pre-made sound settings called presets. You know, I think I saw that when I was flipping through all of my sounds looking for the laughing. Let's see what we get. I think it was over here. Let's see. Boop, bop, boop, beep, beep, bop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 beep, bop, bass. There it is. Let's see. $4.95. What's $4.95? DX bass. There it is. Anyway. This specific sound is a DX100 preset called Solid Bass and was used on many techno and house tracks in the 90s. That's why I was vibing. It was a 90s jam. How is this bass line put together? In this early techno classic, the bass line plays short notes with an intricate rhythm. This creates an interesting contrast with the mostly 4 on the floor drum pattern. We learned about that. Only the real ones know about that 4 on the floor. Something like that. Okay. Experiment with your own bass lines that use some of the defining characteristics of the original short notes and intricate rhythms. Feel free. Feel free. Dos uno. Dos uno. Daft Punk Around the World, another banger. What is this bass sound? Daft Punk doesn't share a lot about the details about their process, so it's not entirely clear what instrument plays the bass line on this track. This style is consistent with the way a funk bassist might play a bass guitar, but this can also be done with a synthesizer. It does sound like an acoustic bass, but it's definitely a synthesizer. How is this bass line put together? This bass line has an interesting shape. A sort of ascending stairs pattern that repeats 3 times before climbing back down the notes of the scale. Climbing back down the notes of the scale. The use of 3 repeating variations followed by a new idea is a common composition technique. Remember that. We will be talking about that again. After the 3rd time, do something different. Something like that. I love me some techno. Experiment with your own bass lines that use some of the defining characteristics of the original, intricate rhythms, passing tones, and ideas that repeat 3 times. Even though there aren't really any chords played here, the notes in this bass line suggest some possibly accompanying chords, in a similar way to the Mary Had a Little Lamb example. Because everything comes back to Mary and her lamb. Listen to this implied chord progression along with the bass line. Around the world, around the world, around the world. Something like that. Did you notice this particular chord progression, 1 3 5 4, might sound familiar, but it's also used in another Daft Punk track, Get Lucky, but in a different key and much more modern Daft Punk sound. You can almost put that same bass line to it too. Bum 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 do 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 do. It's not there, but you could put it there. It fits. Same chord progression. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Let's see what we get here. Wayne Smith, Unda Mis Lengteng.
Way in my brain, it's way in my brain, it's way in my brain. Well now, under my slang, tell me under my slang, under my slang, tell me under me.
What is this bass sound? The bass sound, and also the pattern itself, is a preset from the Casio Tone MT40, an inexpensive electronic keyboard. This dancehall track, dancehall is the genre, it's kind of like dub or reggae style. The dancehall track has spawned hundreds of additional songs that use the same bass line and drum pattern. How is this bass line put together? That also sounds like some Sublime songs. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, notice that this bass line uses a similar design to the one in Around the World. What? 3 repeated patterns followed by a new idea. To create some variations of your own, something different. Alright, is this one more? There might be a couple more. Okay. Watch it. What is this bass sound? Similarly to Daft Punk, rhythm and sound almost never share the secrets of their equipment and music making process. But this bass sound was created on a synthesizer of some kind. How is this bass line put together? The bass line in this dub techno track is probably the most important element. There are chords, but they are very much in the background. Note that these chords are played with the same offbeat skank rhythm that you learned earlier. This rhythm is very common in reggae, dub, and related styles. Interesting and quite simple. Despite the central focus of the bass line, notice how little actually happens in it. Most of the pattern is empty space. And when notes do occur, they're mostly in unusual rhythmic spaces in between the beats. Try creating your own variations using lots of space and unusual rhythms. I think I told you this before, but I will say it again, because it bears repeating. Get over here. Sounds are just as important as silence. And in the reverse, silence is just as important as sounds. So that's why that works. You know, you get that empty space in there and it draws you in. You're waiting, you're hungry for what's next. Grimes. I think this is a new addition to the website. I don't remember this. I really don't want Grimes to come down and get me, so we'll stop that short. What is this bass sound? Synthesizers play all of the instrumental parts in this song, besides the vocals. The bass line is the most prominent layer here. How is this bass line put together? The bass line is 8 bars long, but can be further broken down into 2 groups of 4 bars. The first 2 bars are a pattern made from the notes in a D minor triad. The 2-bar pattern repeats twice. Okay, so we got D, F, and A, which is a D minor triad. Okay. We got a minor third on the bottom, major third on top. Alright. And of course the upper octave. In the second 4 bars, the same pattern is transposed down to play the notes of a B minor triad. This is also a 2-bar pattern repeated twice. B, D, F sharp. 3 half steps for a third, a minor third, and 4 half steps for a major third, or a minor third and a perfect fifth in both cases. Okay. A rhythmic pattern of single notes that outlines a chord is called an arpeggio. And this is common technique for creating bass lines. Many synthesizers come with arpeggiators, which automatically create arpeggiated patterns when you hold down the notes of a chord. I will definitely show you that at some point when I get that hooked up. Experiment with your own bass lines that use arpeggios. Next, play with bass lines. Now that you've learned a bit about bass lines, spend some time creating your own. You can also create beats that will play in sync with your note patterns. This is the playground. This is where you get to play. And I won't do that because you get to play. And maybe I'll play a little bit more before we leave. Let's go over here. Was I going to say something? Arpeggiators, minor. I don't remember what I was going to say. We are in the key of B major. Our relative key of the day would be, that's a G sharp. G sharp. G sharp minor. Yo, Emma. Look, it's me. Make sure you pay attention, Emma. You're going to learn a lot here. The production side of this is the music production techniques that I have. And I start here with Ableton. We're going to jump into the Ableton software, which we've done a little bit already. Ooh, look, there's 5 people in the chat already. Throw it up in the chat. I got to make this bigger so you guys can read it. But remember, you can zoom in on your phone if you're watching on a phone. But unfortunately, Emma missed out, as many other people have missed out, on my digital music production class. Okay, Eduardo credits that as being where he learned what he knows about editing audio and things like that, which is not wrong. So pay attention, take some notes, try it out on your own, and throw some comments in the chat. And what would be very important and very helpful for you, my lovely people in my computer, would be to watch these videos again and again. At least twice, just to get the hang of what it is that I'm saying. Or just rewind and watch that part over again. Just to hear what I'm talking about. Just to see what it is that I mean when I say something like that. I don't know if you can zoom in on a computer. Maybe you can. If you try holding control and zoom in or hit the plus, you might actually be able to zoom in. But if you're on, I know you definitely need to take my theory class. We're back up to 130. Yay, I don't have to cry myself to sleep tonight. If you are chatting in the live chat, you obviously don't need to see the live chat because you are in it. You're on my computer, but you are in mine. Isn't English fun? I'm going to try and get my digital music class back. It's going to be a struggle. The first person who got that started, he never actually got to teach it. He left, and then I took over, and I was like, ooh, I get to teach this class. Eduardo is missing out on this amazing life. English fun is not English fun. What's up, Brookayla? Is that Brooke? My cello player, Brooke. thinking of starting a Discord for our little community here so that we can kind of all chat when I'm not here live. Because like I said, I won't be able to do this as often as I would like. If this is just so much fun. If I could make money at this today, I would just do it all day long. Of course, I would miss going to school and things like that, but I think it would be good. In my intro video, I talked about making some kind of a community, and I think that's probably the place to do it. Discord is, I have so many Discords that I join just to be a part of. I watch this 2-hour news podcast, and they have a Discord, and you can chat in the Discord, and they do an after show, and some people get to call in live and be on the show because they were in the Discord. So I think that would be a good place. We can share files, we can talk music, and we can have off-topic things. We can talk financial things that I like to talk about as well. It'll be interesting. It'll be a nice little place. Yes! You guys could get sneak peeks of things, upcoming stuff. I'm gonna block Alex if he just invades the chat. No, it won't. Seems like I like the key of B. This is interesting. Interesting. I'm excited where we're going here, you guys. I'm really surprised that it's taken off like it has. You are all top tier fans, and it's just so cool to see all these people kind of coming together and watching what I'm doing. I know, like I said, I know some of this theory stuff is kind of boring. Not to me. I think that's why, I'm just so passionate about it. I want to share my passions. Oh, sorry, I just got off on that. That was kind of cool. are you dying on me? We're in the middle of a jam. Sorry, I definitely got off on that jam there. That's a good one. Okay, anyway. So I just love sharing my passions here. Hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I'm just here jamming. We're just here having fun. This is a Wednesday, bro. It's almost like a pentatonic, but it's not. What? You better plug that thing in. I don't think I've ever played this much in B. So the sharp keys, I mean, I'm just kind of getting off here on a little tangent. I was talking about my passions and how I love sharing them with you, and how it's just so funny looking up and seeing my face in the piano. It's so funny. Anyway, the sharp keys. Are idiosyncratic to the piano. Okay, it fits the shape of my hand. Right, if I'm in B, I always like playing the F sharp scale. What if, I know I'm in a daily key here, but what if we went through the circle of fifths real quick. Was that right? The more you do them, the easier they get. I don't know if there is a hard. Anyway. Well, that's okay. You keep watching. Go watch my brand new premiered video from this morning. And go back and watch my live streams. I've started to title them, what's in them. So I really need to. It's going to take me a long time. But I really need to go through and make timestamps. That's true. I need to go through and make timestamps, so it's a little easier to navigate my videos, especially these live streams that go on and on for an hour or more. So check out the channel, Emma. Stick with it. You've got plenty of time to learn. Take a keyboard class. Miss Lester is doing pretty good. Take my theory class if you're really interested in it. Stay curious. Stay hungry for it. I think it's time for me to sign off here. The more you do it, the better you get at things. I didn't become this piano playing, theory loving, crazy person overnight. It happened very gradually and then all at once. From the age of 7 to the age of 17, I didn't really take it that seriously. Stay curious? You knew it was over. Nah. I still got some some juice left in me here. I'm not hungry today. I already ate. I have other things that are calling me. So, from the age of 7 to 17, I have to say, maybe 7 to 14, 15, I didn't really take it very seriously. It came very easy to me. It was just like, oh yeah, piano, yep, I do that. And then when I got to high school, and it was like, oh, not everybody does that. Okay, cool. I do something special. And then, starting to figure out what I was going to do for college. It was just one of those things. Maybe I should cue my ending music here because it is time to go, my friends. Time to call it a night. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't you worry. Earthania is calling. Will you answer the call? There she is. So, stay curious, stay hungry. It's a gradual thing. It doesn't happen all at once. It is such a banger, and it does mean the stream is over. It's my favorite. It's one of my favorites. Can't win. It's a bittersweet ending, my friends. But it's been fun. I love everything I'm doing. And just one more time for you, Alex. Just one more time, everybody. The crease. The crease is there. We're going to talk about this. I'm glad I printed this out. I'm glad I brought it home. I almost didn't. I was like, nah, I'll never do that. But I did, just to prove it to you. But, you keep at things and you get better at them, no matter what it is. You want to stay motivated. You got to stay hungry. You fight through the difficult times. And it gets easy. It does. And eventually, you're the last one standing. In high school, I was by far not the best piano player, the best musician. There were people around me who were so much better. Back in my day, old man Durante here, Manatee County had an amazing music program. All of the high schools. Lakewood Ranch, certainly. It was worth the funny moment, yes. Speaking of that. Yeah, Lakewood Ranch Orchestra was at its peak, and I was there. And I was not the best, by any stretch of the imagination, but I kept at it. And I'm one of the last ones standing that I know about. I don't know very many other people who still make music. And most of my family members, my aunts and uncles, they talk, and I'm sure my cousins hate hearing this, but they talk and they say, oh, Tommy, he is doing what he loves. He loves music, and he's doing it, and he makes money doing it, and that's what you should strive for. No matter what it is, you strive for it. It's been an amazing Wednesday here at Durante's House of Music. I love what I do, and if you're my student and you call me Tommy, we will have some words. Please don't do that. But anyway, it's been so much fun. I love what I do, and I want you to love what you do. And if that's music, then that's awesome. Keep at it. Keep doing it. Stay hungry. Stay funny. And have a lovely night.